guys, welcome to Brian's Man Cave. So today I'm going to be looking at bowling, and that's going to be bowling on the Atari 2600 and on the Intellivision. Just like I usually do with my comparison videos, I always like to look at the Atari, take a look at the features, the way it looks, the graphics, the gameplay, and do the same thing on, say, another system like the Intellivision. And so that's what I'm going to do. I mean, they're both called bowling, they're both generic. Well, this one is PBA bowling for the Intellivision. Now, I know that Intellivision always seem to get licensing for a lot of their games, like for their sports games and stuff like that. Like for the hockey one, it's actually NHL hockey, things like that. But I mean, overall, it's just generic bowling. There's no actual famous bowlers, if there are famous bowlers in this game. But anyways, yeah, let's take a look. So, I've played this one quite a few times because it is fun. It's simple. There's not a lot to it. It's been a while since I've actually played this one, so I'm going to have to skim through the manual just a little bit before I start playing it because, I don't want to get to a point where I'm like, what do I do? But I'm probably not going to be so good at it. Anyways, let's look at bowling for the Atari and the Intellivision. Okay, so we got bowling. Yeah. There's no real start screen. I mean, this is technically the start screen, but it's really just the game, not playing. And you can see the scores here. So, obviously, I'm just going to be player one. But yeah, I mean, you can tell what this is. You can tell what's going on here. You got the pins. They're squares. It's Atari 2600. So, I don't expect always the, perfect graphics in this, this game. And that's your dude there. I mean, you can see it's a guy holding a ball. So, I think it's pretty cool. Anyways, I'm just going to go with the first setting, which is just a straight game of bowling. So let's just reset. And here we go. So in this one, you literally just line up your dude. And wherever you want to let the ball go, you just push the button. And there you go. Whew. Now, I'm not sure if there's actually a gutter ball in this or not. Now, the other thing that's weird is it does allow you to, essentially steer the ball. So once you let go, so I guess that was the gutter ball. So once you let go, you can move your joystick. But this is in the first option, so I think it allows me to do it, once. And then it goes up to that corner there. Otherwise, it'll just go straight. I can... do the same thing and push down a little bit, but you don't want to steer too early because it's just going to end up in the gutter. But usually I end up just shooting straight. And then at the last second, then you can just flick it up and pick up all the pins. It's kind of a weird thing, but I always thought it was odd, that you can have any kind of control over the ball once it's kind of left the guy's hands. But I mean, it's a nice simple game of bowling. Everybody that's ever done any reviews on this pretty much says the same thing. It's just a nice, calming game, relaxing game of bowling. I mean, nothing to it. Let's try a different difficulty setting. I'm just going to reset. I think I can go to... What is it? Two player 3. I think this is the one where I could steer the ball. Just do that. Yeah. So now I can actually steer the ball and continuously steer it, which is really strange. So the first setting, you just have to push it once, or you're only allowed to push it once. This one, you're literally controlling where you want the ball to go. I don't know. I guess some people like playing it like that. To me, this isn't really bowling because, you're just kind of moving the ball around and, I don't know. Maybe I just think that once the ball is left his possession, there shouldn't be any control over the ball, but that's just me. But I guess that's the only way they could come up with a way of actually creating any kind of, curvature or spin to the ball. Being that simple anyways. Not a bad game, though. I kind of enjoy it. Okay, let's do bowling now on the Intellivision. Copyright 1980. So you can see it's a fairly old one. I mean, 1980. Let's get into this. So this is your typical Intellivision Mattel Electronics Presents screen. Very common on almost all of the Intellivision games. Not all of them. There's a lot of them that don't have it. So this one gives you some options. So you can select a game. So the standard game of bowling, you push 5. And then there's another one where you can just pick up spares or something like that. I just want to do the standard thing of bowling, because that's what I want to do right now, is play some bowling. Number of bowlers, well, it's just me. This does up to 4 bowlers, so if you had 4 people, but there's only the 2 controllers on the Intellivision, so you have to share. So I'm just going to do 1. Slickness, that's how, you could change the slickness of the bowling alley itself, so, or the floor, whatever you call it. I don't know. I'm going to do like a 2. I think the 1, it's, the least amount, and then 10, I think it goes up to really hard, so that's okay. Ball weights, I'm going to go with 13 pounds. It gives you a whole bunch of different options. So you can do 12 pounds, 11 pounds, 13, 14, 15. 13, 12, somewhere around there, I think is pretty good. And bowler hand. So this is interesting too. It's like, what hand do you want your bowler to be? I guess if you want to model it after yourself. So I usually hold the ball with my right hand. So I'm going to go with the right. Okay. Now this is obviously a much different view. I mean, you're looking at the same concept here as the Atari. You got the guy over here. He's got the ball. But you don't see the pins. The pins are actually up here. So it's kind of like a split view, which is different. Just a way so they can add more graphics and make things a lot bigger. This is like a standard looking Intellivision guy. For boxing and stuff, they kind of that height. And that's your ball there. So what you do is you hit the disc. And then what's different about this one is the these buttons here on the Intellivision controller, your action buttons, the right and the left control here. So pushing the top one makes them go up, pushing the bottom one makes them go down. So that's interesting that they did that. So you can, rather than trying to use the disc to do that. And when you're ready, like let's say I'm going to line up with this middle dot here. Then you hold down the other side action button and hit the disc where you want it to curve. So I curved it a lot there. So I ended up in the gutter. That ain't going anywhere. So it involves a little bit more than just pushing a button. You actually have to hold down the disc at a certain spot on the disc to make a certain kind of curve. So this does take a little bit of getting used to. I do admit that. I'm going to try and do a straight-on shot. That's our ball rolling there. Looks kind of ovally shaped. You can see the pins knock away. So they really did a good job with the animations too, where they try and give you that animated look. Let's do that another try. Got the ball. This is one thing that they really like to do with the Intellivision, was try to get all the kind of details of going through something like this. Where you get your ball, you have to line yourself up. You have to decide how you want to hold your ball and how you want to spin the ball. So they usually did a good job on that type of stuff. Let's try for this way. Oh no! Gutter ball. That sucked. Obviously, I'm a little rusty at this game. Now, unlike the Atari, once you let go of the ball, that's pretty much it. You made your decision. The ball's going to go do what it has to do. It's not going to... You can't make it move or curve or anything. Let's try this way. Oh no! I think I did the same thing. What I'm doing is I'm pushing a little bit down on the over on this side here. So depending on where you want to depress it. Let's do that again. going to try down on the bottom right. Oh, geez, I'm doing it wrong again. I had it on that one. So, yeah, oh boy, was I horrible at this one. But, you know, I can get it. It's not like it's overly hard. It just takes a little bit of practice. You know, it's kind of like when I was doing my my previous video where I talked about the game Safecracker. Actually, it's right here. And just the controls of the car, learning the disc controls and all that stuff. But it's not really that difficult. And of course, the bowling for the Atari, which was much more easier, much more straightforward, a little bit more simple. The Intellivision one does have like the overlay, which is kind of important. If you don't have the overlay, you at least need the manual. And that's where you actually go in and look at things like, and it's got all the you know, indications of what you're supposed to push on, you know, the graphics on where you're supposed to push on the controller, in case you're not familiar with the Intellivision controller. And it does run through all that, because the Intellivision version is a lot more complicated. That was what I was talking about with the disc, and it tells you where to hold the disc to not curve the ball too much. And that's where I was really making my mistake, was I wasn't holding the disc in the right spot. But I'm sure if I played it a few more times, I would have picked it up. But that's not the point of this video. This was more just to check out the game, see how they function, see how they play, see how they look. Obviously, the Intellivision has a lot more colorful graphics and a lot better gameplay in a sense. It gives you more options. It gives you the ball weight. It gives you the slickness of the floor. It gives you, you know, just a lot of things. But, you know, at the same time, I kind of credit the Atari one for just being quick and fun. I mean, there wasn't a lot of, like, a huge learning curve there. You literally just slap it in, you start playing it. There was no need for me to go and search the manual. And, you know, because if I didn't look at the manual for the Intellivision one, I probably wouldn't even have got the ball off the thing or even figure out how to maneuver my player at all. So there is some kind of downsides to that. But at the end of the day, once you start to learn the games and you get comfortable with it, you'll have a lot more fun. I would say they are both pretty good in their own merit. Anyways, let me know what you think. Which ones did you play? Now, I know there's a ton of bowling games out there. You know, Wii bowling is probably one of the best ones because you get to actually feel like you're bowling. You know, things like that. Leave some comments down below. What's your favorite bowling game? Hope you liked the video. Hope you subscribe. Talk to you later.